This request was inspired by a conversation with Chaos Catriano 7 on how things may be if Videl met Gohan far earlier, to train in the art of ki cultivation. For this scenario, Videl starts looking into footage of prior Tenkaichi Budokai champions immediately after her father wins the 24th, and is interested in the skills he describes as tricks. Not long after the Cell game, she deduces those there must be associated with Son Goku, and researches enough to deduce his residence and take a capsule ship there when her father isn't around. When encountering Gohan, she recognizes this as the golden-haired boy who was there, and requests to be taught what tricks he can do when having doubts in her father's claims. She also brings a fair bit of her father's money she took to bribe him in case, and, though Gohan isn't concerned with that, Chi-Chi immediately encourages Gohan to take a break from his studies when seeing this. When having more time to teach Videl how to use ki, she progresses far quicker and is able to become vastly stronger in little time. Mr. Satan eventually becomes aware of this, but Videl decides to stand her ground and her father is forced to let her pursue these goals. It isn't long before she starts copying Goku's Shugyo journey, with tutelage by Muten Roshi and Karin, to hone her skills, while Gohan focuses on helping her grow her amount of ki, before even starting to learn from Piccolo too. It's after a while conversing with both about their history that she catches on to the ability for one's potential to be unlocked, and Dende eventually mentions being able to upgrade the Dragon Balls to allow this. Videl wishes for her latent potential to be unleashed when catching on to how difficult it is for an Earthling to catch up to a Saiyan. And the mix of her natural talent and determination causes her to start being able to make Gohan go serious when sparring with her without transforming, after a few years, as well as being able to spar with Goten. When Gohan starts high school, he's comfortable leaving and acting justice to Videl, and the two are already in a relationship, with the time spent bonding through Shugyo, encouraging Gohan to participate in the Tenkaichi Budokai, and their sparring having Gohan use Super Saiyan against Videl to progress her training's difficulty. When the Budokai occurs, Goten manages to defeat Trunks when stronger and more skilled than normal, and Spopovich is no match for Videl. Things otherwise go the same beyond Videl choosing to follow Shin to Babidi's spaceship, and is turned to stone along with Kuririn and Piccolo. When Gohan fights Dabra, him being angry at Videl's fate and not Rusty causes Dabra's magic to be the only thing allowing him to survive, with Vegeta being even quicker to angrily rant about the situation when seeing Dabra may not last long enough for Babidi to catch on to trying to mind control him. Majin Vegeta happens and, when left to face Dabra, Gohan wastes no time in taking down the kin of the Makai, and then helping Shin get rid of Babidi. With how quickly Goku and Vegeta filled up the meter though, Buu awakens immediately after, and with Goku having not gone for the Senzu yet, Vegeta lets him go get them and isn't in the position to challenge Buu alone. It becomes apparent the three Super Saiyan 2s still aren't enough to match Buu, with Goku taking everyone nearby, including those formerly petrified by Dabra, as well as the two boys to the Heavenly Realm to explain the fusion dance, requesting Gohan try it with him while Piccolo attempts to have Goten and Trunks master it. Gohan is unable to get it right the first time though, with the uncontrollable Buu's rampage having Vegeta go distract him alone, knocking Trunks and Goten out when they refuse to let him go. Vegeta sacrifices himself, and Goku stops the second wish being made as usual once the fusion ends, and Dende restores his stamina. It's after that point that Kibito teleports to the group when searching for Kaioshin, with the latter bringing up using the Zetor sword, with Gohan going to attempt it while Goku goes to fight Buu as a Super Saiyan 3, in order to convince him to wait for an even stronger opponent. Having not wasted time being knocked out and having fought Buu for even less time, Goku has enough time for him to assure Gotenks succeeds in the fusion, with him reminding the boys to do so as Super Saiyans. They then go to defeat Buu, but aren't the only ones to go. Videl comes to believe Majin Buu may be someone capable of being reasoned with, and attempts to make this happen. By the time she arrives, Super Saiyan Gotenks is easily overpowering Buu, and is getting ready to launch an attack capable of wiping him out. It's then that she intervenes and asks Buu that, if he finds fighting strong opponents fun, why destroy all in his way, until no such fun things remain? Buu understands this and agrees to no longer eat people or destroy cities, as long as he has strong opponents to challenge him often. With Gotenks and then Ultimate Gohan around, this isn't a problem, and Buu comes to enjoy his new life at the Satan household, when having a good access to sweets or objects to turn into them. Gohan also keeps up his efforts to maintain his strength when Buu's demand keeps him on his toes. As for Vegeta, unable to be revived with Earth's Dragon Balls, he accepts the cleansing and reincarnation of his soul. When Tarbell comes to Earth, Gohan is the one to deal with Akka once Gotenks lets things get out of hand. Moving on to the Super continuity, Pan is born 2 years earlier. Beerus still wakes up, and Buu's presence causes things to get serious, with there only being 4 Saiyans present. Gohan wishes for Tarbell to be brought to Earth, and Rodai Kaioshin gives his life to Goku for the ritual to go ahead. Having not been a letdown against evil Buu here, Gohan is the one chosen to become a Super Saiyan God, and though Beerus is glad he became stronger, Gohan's attitude as a fighter isn't one he can see pushing themselves to be a worthy rival in the future, forcing Goku to participate in the ritual and be more what Beerus is looking for. Gohan still accepts Whis' offer to be tutored, though not as regularly as his father due to his academic and family life. When Frieza is revived, Videl helps take out some of the soldiers, and Gohan has no issue against Tagoma, before forcing Frieza to go golden. Though still at a disadvantage with Super Saiyan God, Gohan is still strong enough to hold his own until Goku chooses to teleport there, with Goku taking over and defeating Frieza, with Videl stopping Sorbet from using the laser. In the Universe 6 tournament, Gohan takes Vegeta's place. The lack of a written exam Vegeta requested has Buu go up against Botamo, and his mix of regeneration and magic are enough to best the competition until Kaba catches on and throws him out of the ring. Goku then defeats him, and the battle against Hit goes the same, but with Hit throwing the fight to Piccolo rather than Monaka. For the Future Trunks arc, changes occur during a trip to the future, where Gohan joins them. Goku is the one to face Black, and Gohan facing Zamasu. When Trunks helps them retreat, Gohan chooses to stay in the future timeline to assist, when not as fatigued as his father. He is able to overpower Black when revealing he's achieved Super Saiyan Blue, but its stamina prevents him from finishing the job in time. It's when Gohan is beaten up by Black and Zamasu that Trunks is reminded of his inability to save this world's Gohan, and his sadness and anger awakens his Super Saiyan rage, which bests the fatigue Black, while keeping Zamasu at bay enough for the former not to be healed until Zamasu gives the signal for the pair to fuse. Goku arrives just in time for Trunks to avoid certain death, with Goasu informing everyone of the Potara, with Gohan and Trunks fusing before Goku gives them a Senzu. Using an ultimate state, they put up a fight long enough for Goku to return to the past, gain the talisman, be healed by Kibito, refuel the time machine, and perfect Super Saiyan Blue before Gohan and Trunks' fusion wears off. Goku then uses the Mafuba to seal Zamasu, and barely survives, with Trunks and Mai attempting to rebuild their world. Goku then presses the Xenor button when thinking of who could be the perfect friend for his timeline Xenor, and he manages to accomplish this without future Xenor erasing the timeline. Before Kibito leaves Capsule Corporation, Videl asks to be able to meet Rodai Kaioshin, and explains she wants to be brought beyond her limits through his ritual when knowing she'll never be able to help Gohan if a battle occurs where he needs all the help he can get. Though still nowhere near as strong as he ended up being in the Buu arc, her diligence in training even further with Piccolo helps them both become far stronger, and being a great help in Gohan improving in preparation for the Tournament of Power, as well as taking Vegeta's spot with Frieza still being brought in. She is able to endure frost targeting Earthlings, though was taken out by Damon in Piccolo's place, whereas a far stronger Piccolo was targeting more high-level opponents at that time. with Cabba having not been tutored on achieving Super Saiyan. He and Caulifla are eliminated early on, with Kale being taken down by the Pride Troopers when run out of stamina. Gohan defeats Toppo, before he and Piccolo aid in the battle against Jiren, with Fins ending up near enough the same for the Tournament of Powers end. In the battle against Broly, Gohan shows up when sensing his father is struggling, and undergoes fusion with him in Vegeta's place. The conflict with Moro doesn't occur due to Buu's God Key remaining in him, causing the seal to remain on Moro's magic. By that point, Buu is also happy enough with his life to not keep threatening those around him if he's not having fun. Without 7 Frieza release or encounter with Zuno, Elec doesn't get a lead on having Gas use the Dragon Balls, and instead Granola gets rid of the heaters when wishing to be the strongest in the universe. He immediately tries to track down Frieza, but is taken out by Black Frieza. The events of Super Hero still occur with Videl assisting in the battle, and, should Black Frieza set his sights on Earth someday, soon after, Gohan Beast and Orange Piccolo would be able to assist Goku in an intense battle against him, but only the future will answer if that's so. Should peace return, Goku still enters the 28th Tenkaichi Budokai to face Oob, or his equivalent, this time Vegeta's reincarnation instead of Buu's, wishing to make a rival out of him once more, and perhaps have this Vegeta protect all he values as his final sacrifice tried to do. Even ignoring Super, Gohan would take Goku's role here to train Oob out of necessity, to honour Vegeta's sacrifice. In the GT timeline, Pilaf flirts out his wish to rule the world, and Gohan joins Trunks on the mission to space, while Pilaf inevitably gets overthrown. Pan still stows on board the ship when wanting to be with her papa, but her more disciplined mindset from both her parents practicing Shugyo prevents her from messing with the Para brothers' ship, and instead waits to go to Lude with Gohan and Trunks, with Lude being dealt with far easier without him being brought to level 3. Gohan is able to do as well as his father did against Metal Rild, once he goes Super Saiyan 2, and the events on M2 go otherwise the same. With no Vegeta, Baby instead makes Goten his host until possessing the infected Trunks. With Trunks being the far weaker main host than Vegeta was, he is forced to take his strongest form 1 to compete with Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, who is saved by Kibiton when at a disadvantage against Super Baby 2, who requires a revenge death ball to defeat Oob. With Super Saiyan 4 bringing the Saiyan's power to its limits, Gohan ends up far stronger than what we saw of Super Saiyan 4 Goku in the GT anime, easily defeating Golden Ozaru Baby, making quick work of Super 17, with even attempts to absorb a Kamehameha being beyond the limits of 17's design, and getting rid of Shinlong before he can absorb the Dragon Balls, bringing GT to an anticlimactic but peaceful end. It's in this scenario that we see the major impact that would come from Videl having cultivated her ki far earlier, particularly on Gohan's attitude towards honing his strength. As they say, behind every great man, there is a great woman. Thank you for watching through all this What If. Check out more of them in this playlist, and if wanting to request your own or topic for Dragon Ball analysis, comment it below and subscribe so you don't miss it. On the subject of Videl and her role, you can also expect an analysis concerning her role in the narrative, as opposed to how it could have gone, as with here.